we had an event that raised money for kids, and you came up to Pennsylvania, and you spent a lot of time with Jim Eisenreich.
Right.
And we've done a piece on Jimmy. All of us on this planet, no matter what country, what continent you're on, we have our battles.
Sure.
You, my friend, I tip my hat to you. You got faced with some information, and then you have had to go through the steps of dealing with it, right, and attacking it to the best of your ability. Would you share wherever you want to take it? Because I do, right, applaud you, just like I applaud Jimmy. But other people that will never be on camera, listen real closely to what you got to say.
Well, I retired from baseball at 36, and at 38 I got diagnosed with Parkinson's. And I was always wondering while I didn't have great stuff, I had good enough stuff that if I located, I could get people out.
Sure.
And all of a sudden I was losing 2 or 3 miles an hour on my fastball, and my fastball was straightening out, and I was losing movement and blah, blah, blah. And then after 2 years of being out of baseball, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, which now I attribute to, that losing life on my fastball.
When you got diagnosed with Parkinson, then you have to go through dealing with it, anger, accepting it. You go through a lot of stages.
Right.
It's your life, it's your body.
Right. Yeah, you become angry, and why me, and the poor pitiful me, and all that kind of stuff. And then you deal. I had to deal with I had at times socially, if I was out in a crowded restaurant, a bar, or a party, or any kind of big function, anxiety sometimes would creep in. I felt like my skin was about to crawl off my darn back, So.
Do you think, though, also, besides Parkinson, do you think it was because it was new and you were overthinking it?
Oh, I'm sure that had a large play in, because the whole time no one knew I had Parkinson's but me. Sure. And my parents and a select few. So I spent the first 5 years or so not dealing with Parkinson's, but trying to keep anybody else from knowing that I had it. Yeah, I mean, I just didn't want anybody to know, because everybody, for whatever reason, always looks at me and says, you look so good for your age, and you keep yourself in such good health, and I'm like, I'm thinking, if you only knew.
Sure.
That I had this damn demon inside of me that's just really beat me up.
Have you changed anything with the medication or how you're dealing with it the last 3 years? Because if you didn't tell somebody, like the people that are watching this, and go back and go back to the first minute or two, nobody knows you have Parkinson's. I'm perceptive. I don't know. So are you doing the same routine? Have you changed things up? Because whatever you're doing seems to be working.
Well, yeah, all that's changed, and I've evolved with Parkinson's. I've had it for 14, 15 years. So, but the biggest thing that I did for myself was, number one, get the word out. Bill Landrum has Parkinson's. So then I could go out socially. And if I had a bad night and stuttered a little bit, or had a little tremor or something, people would understand and say, "What's wrong with you?" And then that would make it even worse. I just want to go crawl in a hole and go home. So acceptance, number one. That's just like alcoholic admitting he has a problem. It's the same thing with any disease. You have to face it and admit that you have an issue. And then medically, I had what's called a DBS surgery. I had both sides done, which is a deep brain stimulator, which is like a pacemaker they put in your chest with a wire that goes up your neck. It's like a vein.
Right.
And then it goes into a probe that goes down into your brain.
So you've had 2 brain surgeries?
Yes. My last brain surgery, I just had the last one February of 12 this year.
Maybe if you did better in school like your brother.
Yeah. But the exercise is the exercise and diet has a lot to do with it. You try to eat clean food and raw vegetables. You know, I cut down my red meats, although we had steak last night, but that's used to be the norm.
Sure.
You know, steak for breakfast and a steak for dinner and a hamburger for lunch, you know, but I eat more fish and raw vegetables and stuff now, and I do some qigong and exercises and try to just stay physically active.
How big is Parkinson's? Does it hit people in their teens and 20s, or is it mostly 30s, 40s, 50s? You know, what have you learned about it that besides them looking it up on the computer, you've learned this?
I've learned that it's not an old person's disease anymore. At one time, it used to be something that somebody 60 and above would get.
Okay.
Now there's more and more youth getting Parkinson's. I got diagnosed at 38. There's people in their early 30s that get diagnosed now. They don't know much about it. It can be hereditary. It could be lead poisoning or mercury poisoning, or somebody that's lived on a farm and farmed their whole life. Fertilizers and pesticides. They really don't know exactly what it is or how you get it. They just know. And what's weird about it is you could have Parkinson, I could have Parkinson's. There's probably 25 different symptoms of Parkinson, and you could have 10 of those, and I could have completely another 10. So our symptoms wouldn't be the same. I could have the shakes.
Right.
You could have depression, or you could have stutter or slurred speech, or cognitive skills that leave you. It's totally different for different people.
Your 3 siblings, no Parkinson's.
See my twin, no.
Your mom and your dad.
No.
Anybody in your family?
No.
Interesting. So at 55, didn't you just have a birthday?
I had a birthday 2 Fridays ago.
How's life at 55, bro?
I tell you what, it's not bad, John. Come on and join me. You got 6 years ago. You know, the one thing about getting older is number one, you lose your vanity, which I'm beginning to discover. That's a good thing, because you say what you think. You don't give a rip what anybody thinks about it. You speak.
You're not
truth.
waking up to hurt anybody,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, no, you're not. But if you don't like something, you can say it. And you just, if they're a young person, just write you out as that old grouchy curmudgeon, maybe. But your vanity goes, and now actually, heck, I'm getting age now where not 55 years old, but how old are you? I'm 55, but you know, and then when I was 40, it's like I'm 40. You know, you're still trying to hang on to your youth at 40, but I've accepted.
You're doing well at 55, man.
I've accepted that I'm AARP material.
Did you ever think, I mean, this is a great way to close it. Did you ever think that Parkinson's would actually add to your life because you eat right, exercise right, where if you didn't have Parkinson's and have to go through all the steps, you know, all the terrible stuff, but in reality, maybe, in essence, it was a blessing for you taking care of yourself? Yes, no, maybe?
I tell you where it has evolved me the most. I am more patient with people than I've ever been in my life. And it has taught me that regardless of how bad you think it is, there's always somebody else that's got life tougher. And just be yourself and enjoy the time you have on this earth.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, South Carolina, sitting on the shores of a lake that's got 600 miles of shoreline, with relief pitcher Bill Landrum, son of big league pitcher, 1952 Dodgers, Joe Landrum. Thanks for watching Before the Glory. I'm Billy Staples. It was a good day, Bill. Thank you much,
Thanks
man.
for having me, Billy.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother.
Sure.